Hello everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Logitech G502 Proteus core, which is pretty cool because it sounds like the name of a transformer. And it's got magnets. In the gamer community, Logitech has gotten some serious respect for their peripherals, especially since they consolidated their gaming products with the G branding. The G502 Proteus core lives up to that expectation with a great combination of features that make it a solid gaming mouse. If you're familiar with Logitech's naming scheme up to this point, you may have noticed that this mouse actually has a name, in addition to its numerical designation. Very few other Logitech mice have been bestowed with a name. The only other one we could think of in the office here was the Trackman, which is the ball mouse. What a champion. So is Logitech going to start giving all their gaming products actual names, or is the Proteus core just that special? We'll have to see. Let's open it up. So the packaging itself is pretty straightforward. You have the mouse itself, the case containing the extra weights, a safety and warranty booklet, and a very small instruction pamphlet basically telling you to go online and download the tuning software. So they're saving paper that way. Way to care about the environment, Logitech. All right, so on to what everyone is here to see. The G502 Proteus core is 132 millimeters long, 75 millimeters wide, and 40 millimeters tall. I've got smallish to average hands, so I ended up using more of a palm grip on this mouse. I usually go for a claw grip. This mouse definitely takes more of an angular approach to design than a lot of other Logitech mice we've seen. They usually have a smoother, ergonomic look, which the Proteus still has on the back and the side here. It fits your palm and support fingers nicely. But as we get to the other side, the front and the left side, things take a more mechanical turn. The area where your thumb and forefinger rest and use buttons actually have a more angular polygonal, is that how you say it? Sharp thing going on. And the primary and secondary mouse buttons actually kind of look like, quite a bit like claws. Obviously, it's a personal thing, whether you like that sort of inconsistent design, but I think it works well. I think it kind of looks cool. It's ergonomic where it counts, so where your palm rests on the mouse, and I like that. And the customizable buttons have a very distinct feel, so you know which one you're pressing. Speaking of buttons, there are 6 distinct programmable buttons, although you can also customize the primary buttons and the scroll wheel clicks in and to either side. So altogether, that's about 11 programmable, clickable buttons. The scroll wheel this time around is made of metal with a very solid feel, and it's actually Logitech's flywheel design that they've included in a number of designs now, which allows you to switch between free spin and the slower mode. So you can either go by little notches or click it again and just spin to kingdom come. And you actually do that by pressing the button right behind it, right behind the scroll wheel, which is the only non-customizable button on the mouse, because I think that's because it's an actual physical switch that changes the way the wheel spins. So behind that button, we have the profile switch button, so that can switch between different profiles, obviously customizable. Moving to the thumb side of the mouse, there's 2 buttons right next to the primary button that are set to change DPI by default, and an LED panel that lights up when you change DPI, under which you have 2 more buttons set to go back and forward in a web browser. Now, just forward of that, you have the DPI switch, toggle switch button thing, which you can hold down to use a different DPI if you want to have greater precision for sniping or something of that nature. Now, moving to the bottom of the mouse, you actually have this super easy to remove magnetic bottom panel covering the weights area, which makes it super quick to switch weights around, so that's awesome. Now, the mouse comes with 5 3.6 gram weights in an angular shape that allows you to space the weight evenly around the bottom of the mouse. A lot of weights for mice come in discs that you stack up in the back, which can alter the center of gravity of the mouse. But with the weight spread out, the whole mouse just feels heavier. And if you want more in the back anyways, you can just put it there, you dummy. Guys, let's talk about the cable. It is braided, so that's nice to see, but it did feel a little loose. I think I was spoiled after doing that BitPhoenix Fury unboxing with their Alchemy cables. Those are the best I've ever seen in terms of being a very tight, solid cable. And these they're tight. It's braided. It'll definitely protect it, but it's just a little looser than I would like. I felt like I was going to fray it a little bit. The Roccat mouse that I use here at work also has a tighter braid than this, so when I started using the Proteus, I sort of felt like it could fray eventually. I don't mean it's a crappy cable. It's still very protective, and if you're not whipping your mouse around, I'm sure you'll be fine, but it is a little loose for my taste. It's one of the very few complaints I have about the Proteus. But what about the sensor? Logitech actually developed an entirely new sensor for this mouse, using what they call Delta Zero technology, which is probably inspired by a Chuck Norris movie, if we're being honest. It's technically a laser optical mouse that Logitech says is the most accurate sensor on the market. Now, because of this, you're actually able to tune the sensor to your mouse pad to get the most accurate results for that surface, or, you know, any surface that you use your mouse on. Now, that uses Logitech's customization software, which is actually pretty robust. With that software, you have the option to use profiles stored on your computer or the mouse itself, and a very simple to use interface for customizing button functions. The software will actually scan your computer for games and create a profile for that game automatically, which is pretty cool. It has a database of over 275 games, and Logitech says they're adding more all the time, so that's really nice to see. I don't even have to make a profile, it just makes one. The software has 5 customizable DPI levels with a max of 12,000 DPI, and you can make one level the default and one the setting that you shift to when you press the DPI shift button if you choose to keep that function on that button. Now, the illuminated G on the mouse, you're only able to turn that on or off. No flashing lights or breathing effects or anything. It's either on or off, or actually it turns out you can set it to turn off after 30 minutes. But overall, the program is very robust, and I found it quite adequate for customizing the mouse for how I use it. Now, in terms of my own personal experience, I'm used to having a very light Rocket mouse. It's the Rocket Cone Pure Optical, so think of that what you will. And comparatively, the Proteus, even without weights, seemed kind of heavy to me. It's 121 grams by itself, so I don't know if that means anything to you, but the guys around the office all thought it was a little heavy as well, although Jack said it wasn't that heavy. He's got a Rocket Cone Pure XTD, which is fully loaded with the weights that it came with, and he was like, oh, okay, it's heavy-ish. So take from that what you will. After using it for a week, I pretty much got used to it, so if you like heavy mice, then that's a definite plus. All in all, the Proteus is a solid offering from Logitech. I found very few things to complain about with it. Do you guys like to customize weights on your mice? What do you think of the bottom weight area on the Proteus? Pretty fancy. Sound off in the comments, why don't you? All right, that's pretty much it for this unboxing of the G502 Proteus Core. Thanks for watching, guys. Like or dislike the video, whatever floats your boat, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX.